And we are live. So, what up, family? As you can see, I'm got the green screen behind me because something's going on with my camera. So we've been green screening this week. So we just letting the beat build until you guys come in. We don't have an intro this week, so we just letting the beat build. As usual, it's Ranting and Raving Wednesdays. I'm your host, Siobhan Clark, with my lovely co-host, Carla Nicole. How's your week been so far? How's everything going?
It's doing wonderful, love. We're getting it. So, like I said, always hustling and moving, and everything's been going well. So everything's good so far. So good. How
I
about
saw
you?
I saw you post a video of you doing the body work and what you was doing to that guy's shoulder. Man, my shoulder is it's like frozen. And it was like the way you were pulling it up and around. I feel like mine needs to come up and around to fall back into place or something. 'Cause constantly, it's not constantly in pain, but it's constantly like when I move it, it's like click. Oh my God. Oh, it's hard to pick it up. Oh,
I have
so
had a lot of gents reach out to me over those videos, and those are videos of clients that are still my clients. They've been clients for years now, but
yeah.
um, the one is really trying to get his shoulder to where, because he had an injury on one shoulder, and then the other one, he's really working on his neck and right the collarbone. I mean, just everything is sore. So a lot of times when I work on the body, the energy body work actually penetrates into the lines of the different energetic fields that we have that we don't realize we have. We have root chakras and all these different chakra lines. So actually I do a lot of tap therapy first, and then I do chisage, which is a wooden. I also do tuning forks. So I use tuning forks down the body first, and so you get a whole reset to just, even though I'm working on your shoulder, I might tap your body and be like, oh, that's where his pain is. The source is in the ball of the back. I don't know where, as an example. You don't
Yeah.
really know until you get in there and you're like, the sound therapy tells me a lot. So the vibration will tell me, well, actually, this is where he's complaining, but this is the source down here.
Yeah, I was talking to her sister and she was like, all that stuff is bull jive and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, you got Wi-Fi, don't you? She was like, yeah. I was like, so if Wi-Fi is picking up to your phone, you don't think we can pick up stuff like you don't think vibration and energy is real if you first thing you say is how can I connect to something I can't even see? So what makes you think that it's not real for our bodies? Like our bodies don't have antennas, but you know how that go.
I know.
Sometimes
And you
people,
do know our hair is our antennas. It's
yeah,
our antennas. Like we can pick up a lot off of hair. Our hair. So
yeah,
a
you
lot of times
know,
people don't know, like we're a walking entity of just energetic fields and vibration. I mean, it's powerful. A lot of times until you do a session, everybody's skeptical until they get on the
until
table.
they feel a healing or somebody say they were healed, and then now that here they come, hoping for some overnight miracle. Now, like somebody tell me you fixed their shoulders, like yeah, he been coming for 6 months. I've been working on, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So a lot of times, uh, out in the West, we feel like the white man's medicine and his pill is the secret for everything.
I know.
But let's go ahead and get started. I really, really was feeling the topic last week. I was learning a lot. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm thinking about the conference and whatnot, and how we're going to start promoting for that. And I just really think it's something that uh, a real conference. A lot of times when people come to conferences, they come for an answer. Nobody wants to come to get fixed. Nobody wants to come to find accountability for themselves. So I've seen and I've been at conferences where I've spoke at conferences, and it was 300 women there, and everybody cried and they hugged and snotted. And it was when it was all over, you know what I'm saying? I was getting calls from, not calls, but inboxes and emails from some of the same women at the conference. And it was like I could tell they had like an emotional bonding breakthrough moment type deal, but really didn't get a sense of change. So I feel like with this conference, if you even sign knowledge that there's something in you you need to change or cut out. So I'm
Yes.
excited about promoting for that. But let's just get started on today's topic.
Yes. So if you have not, am I getting a back feed? Is that, do you get that too? Let's see.
I'm not hearing it.
Okay. Hello.
Chat, are you guys hearing feedback or something?
Okay. So if you haven't yet got it, my ebook, I have been getting quite a few sales on my ebook called She's Beside Herself. This book, if you are a husband, um, I'm telling you, you've got to get this. It really helps to understand the woman as well as understanding when you are dealing with certain challenges. I don't think it's easy to convey this, but it's honest. We struggle with accountability. I love what you just brought up. You had a whole conference and women didn't want to be accountable. This has been a struggle for us as coaches and spiritual leaders and people wanting to bring women to their higher self. It's a issue of us trying to help to build women to have confidence in being with being accountable. So on page 7, if you already have She's Beside Herself, I talk about my spectrum. So my spectrum is 3 R's. We heard last week. The first R is reaction. Second R is response, and the third R is resolution or resolving. The challenge of this is trying to figure out how are we resolving if we're not resolving. One of the hardest parts that we went through and went over together last time is that most men are not understanding why it snaps so quick. What is up with the snapping going on? Are you noticing? Have you noticed that? Are you hearing other complain about, I can't even have a conversation without her snapping and going off? Let's talk about that first. What are you noticing in the male conversation about the woman and her quick to anger tactics?
Someone said audio is echoing.
That's what I thought. Okay. Let's see what's going on.
Is it echoing when I talk or when Miss Carla talk? Can y'all hear the audio, the echo now? Is it when I talk or when Miss Carla talk? I'm pretty sure she gonna pop back in here real quick. Yeah, what she was talking about, the 3 R's, it says only when she talks. Let me try something. I wonder, is my situation, it's okay. So if it's only when she talks, maybe it's on her end. Hopefully she'll come back in here. She'll be back in a sec. You know, a lot of times I get that a lot of men say that they having a hard time talking to their woman for their woman snapping. And I've always felt like the woman just walk around mad all the time when a person is not really happy with a person, or when a person is ignored red flags in the beginning. You know what I mean? When a person has ignored red flags in the beginning and they in a relationship, and you know, happened in their attitude, I've always felt like was a result of, dag, I'm stuck in this now and I gotta be in this relationship a certain amount of time, because if I don't, it'll look like here I go again, in and out of relationship again. So let me see if she's gonna come back in. Well, I know she's gonna come back in. She's got the key. Let me just put the invite up there just in case it's okay. I think okay, add to stage. Okay, Miss Carla, you back.
Am I still echoing?
I didn't hear it just now. Go ahead and talk for a second.
Okay. So, yeah, see, I'm still hearing the echo. I'm going to come out of this and come from my phone. Maybe that.
I was telling Trav last night, it could be because I'm going from my phone. I've never went from my phone before, but they said they don't hear it when I'm talking, but it may be you talking, hearing my phone. I don't know. It could be something weird. Okay, I'll keep talking. I'll keep talking. So it's a situation where that reaction, response, resolution, I think that's a beautiful thing. Like we discussed last week, a reaction is just blunt, quick, emotional, and a response is calculated and well thought out. Uh, and it's hard to get to a resolution when we're just reacting. And I do believe, me personally, in conversations that I've had with women in the past, that there's always a lot of just reacting. I don't like how that made me feel, and it's not a lot of thought put into it. I know I've had conversations with women in the past, and a lot of times women will actually say, that made me feel some type of way, or I don't know how that made me feel, but I don't like it. And it's like, obviously, if you can't articulate it, then it's just a feeling, and it's not a well thought out response. But I know, me as a man, there are times that things are said and I want to react, but I think about it, and anything that makes me feel a certain way immediately and I want to react, I immediately think about it, because I don't want to, I hate to say it, but I don't want to I call it a quick woman's reply, a quick snapback answer that I'm just snapping back for an answer just to snap back. And I find those answers are always, okay, let's see. Let's add her this. Okay, let me see if I can remove your other one from stage. All right, now I'm hearing something totally different. Okay, I'm not hearing. Let me check something.
Okay, now I'm coming from my phone. So hopefully.
Yeah, I can hear you well without nothing.
Okay.
Okay, I don't hear the echo now, so I think we should be good.
Okay.
Like I was saying, I know how it feels to hear something and have a conversation and somebody say something, and it's kind of like, and it makes my heart beat fast. I know how that feels. Yes. I know how it feels to be caught in the wrong. I know how it feels. It makes me feel frantic too.
Right.
But I have to sit down and analyze and listen to what's going on.
Yes.
So I understand what's happening. And as a man, I don't be wrong. I don't like to make mistakes. I think everybody's like that. Right. I think women don't realize that everybody goes through that, and they think that it's only them. Yes. I've had conversations with sisters in the past, doing the coaching, and they would say things, and I was like, well, all women say that. And they be like, for real? I thought it was just me. It's like, I really think women be thinking that in their mind that they're the only ones that's doing it. Like, oh my God, I have this big problem. I'm like a little kid. I don't like to be wrong. I don't like how that feels. But I think they don't realize everybody feels like that. Yes. It's just about being rational and being honest and being held accountable. Accountability is such a strong word, because when we say held accountable, we're not talking about punishment. Accountability normally means punishment for a male. Right. Something is going to happen.
Yes.
Accountability for a female is just, can you just acknowledge that I'm not making this up? It's a different level of consequences.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so hard for a lot of men to understand women. And when the woman snaps at them, it's like it's so hard for them to understand. They just think men start saying, "Well, that's just an evil bitch." You know what I'm saying? They don't understand what's going on, and I think this is going to help men understand what's going on and to be a little more patient and to not feel like, oh, this is because she hate me. Oh no, brother, she does this to her mother, her sister. She does this to everybody.
To herself. That's what's even deeper. Is it to herself?
Explain what
first
you mean by that when you say
the,
do it for herself.
the first relationship we have is with self.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is we're not understanding how it's still echoing. I don't know why it's doing that. Close your mic and let's see if I still echo.
Okay.
Mute your mic and see. Okay, so now I don't hear the echo. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's a backfeed from us, you and I, talking together. So what I mean by that is we are the first relationship. Okay. A lot of times we're not understanding or comprehending that we are our first relationship. Problem is, a lot of times we as women have a tendency not to want to hear the truth from even ourselves. We love the lie, Javon. We love the lie. We are so diehard with romance that we have a hard time getting connected or getting in the bed, if you will, with realism. And so we struggle. So anytime we try to even self-soothe ourselves, we have a tendency to do that even in our quiet thoughts. We will tell ourselves, oh, it's okay. We're not wrong. Oh, well, I didn't really mean it that way. I meant it this way. But so we make all these excuses in our own relationship with self first. It's a rehearsal we do in our spirit, in our spiritual space, which is in our inner thoughts, in our inner dialogue, our self-talk. We never have a conversation with anyone first. We always have it with ourselves. It's oftentimes rehearsed. By the time it gets to you, we've rehearsed it several times on how we want to present certain ways we want to talk to you. We do it with self first. So first of all, we have a tendency to not be honest and coherent. And I put it this way. A lot of people, especially women, we have a tendency to contradict ourselves. All of that happens internally first. Before our kids, before our man, before our mamas, before our friends, we have a conversation with self. Problem is, a lot of times we're not talking about the fact that we love the lie. Please tell me the lie and I'll feel better. But no, you're self-soothing and it's not good. What's your take?
I'm gonna just be muting my mic and white. You know, when I hear that from you, I just hear somebody that don't deserve a relationship or any friends. When I hear you say that, right? It makes so much sense, but it's such a ducking of accountability. But forget accountability. To me, it's borderline. It's not even borderline. It's a mental illness. So to hear you say that and the way you're explaining that right now, it further makes me think about how bad this is needed. It's one thing to tell the world a lie. It's another thing for you to sit here and tell me that you believe women will know a situation, know what they did, know everything, and will tell themselves a lie. So let me try to give you an example so you can see what I mean. So you can tell me if this is really what's happening. And I already know you're going to say yes. So I feel like it's a mental illness. So say, for example, are you saying if a woman meets a man, let's use it meeting a guy, and she notices all the red flags, and she say to herself, I ain't never been to this man's house. I can't talk to this man after a certain time. I can't this, I can't that. And she noticed all these red flags. Are you saying she's saying, will tell herself, well, I noticed these red flags, but because I want to date them, I'm going to look over them. And just in case things don't go right, I can use these red flags to push the accountability to him. Is this what you're saying happening?
Okay, so in answer to your question, no, she self-deceives. She self-deceives. There is no accountability even in her self-talk. She doesn't look at it as though I want to fool myself. She's aware that he has these issues, but in her self-soothing, she wants a boyfriend or she wants a man to validate her worth and value and pick her so bad that she'll just excuse a lot of stuff. So it's not that she tells herself, oh, I'm lying to myself. She'll tell everybody else, I want a man that makes this much money. I want a man that has this much and does this and does that. And all the while, he's got those red flags you mentioned. But as long as that man has the money, as long as he has the vehicle, as long as he shows up for whatever time that he claims he's going to show up, she will justify the madness. Now, when it gets exposed and she finds out in her whatever way it comes to be, she will then still lie to herself that, oh, well, it wasn't really that. What it was is I wanted him and he wanted me. And I'm just going to explain to this woman that it's actually me and him. So she'll justify her madness even in that exchange.
So, in hearing that, it further makes me think that there's a mental illness going on. And it really, Carla, it really disparages my hope because it's like, how can you have a conversation with a person that's doing that? How can there ever be any resolution? So essentially, that's why this woman is snapping all the time, because it's like, I'm in something that I know I shouldn't be in and don't want to be in, but I'm using this person and I'm just snapping because I know, and this is the sad thing about it. Carla, what I'm hearing tonight is what I've always thought, and it makes me sadder. It just makes me know where there are no consequences. What I was talking about last week, consequences. There are no consequences, down to the fact of as long as she can tell her friends and family and blame everything on the man, nobody tells her, girl, you know damn well you saw that man and da-da-da-da-da, and you knew that man want this and you knew that man want that. And then she'll stop being friends with somebody that tells her the truth. And you're saying this is just, it keep getting so hard for me to understand because I get it. I've done people like this. But my own self, when I sat down in the corner, I said, boy, you done fucked up. But I sit down in the corner by myself. So you're saying to me that when a woman sits down in the corner by herself, instead of saying, I didn't notice those red flags, or I noticed those red flags, I just wanted to get this, she say, he did me dirty.
And not only just that, a lot of times you have to remember the rehearsals that goes on in the soul, in the heart, and in the mind happens in private. So a lot of times the women are having these, as we call it, rehearsals in the soul. They're having these rehearsals like we used to have when we were little girls, dress rehearsals. They have these rehearsals going on in the spirit because the self-deception is what keeps them engulfed and submerged in the immaturity. This is why men get frustrated by the women and look at her as a little girl. Why do I feel like I'm with a little girl? Why when I talk to her, I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere? Why every time I got to reprimand her like a father? What the hell's going on? Well, I'm so glad you asked. And she's in the book, ebook, She's Beside Herself, which is currently $10 off on the Patreon. It is now $12.99. I am actually giving this book away because this is solid. Once you read the book, you have to go back and reference it constantly. But when a man reads the book, he can see what age she is stuck in. Just because a woman is this age, just because I'm 52 chronologically, it does not mean that emotionally I matured. It just means I've been on the planet for that duration of time. It doesn't mean that I evolved in my maturity. To get to a point that I'm able to not just react, not just respond, but resolve some things that I'm going through, then that stops me from getting so overly combative, constantly getting rigid with my man, because we get so caught up in what is it I want to say? What is it I want to do? What is it I want to get? Most of the time, and I'll say this really quick, most of the time, the woman wants the relationship that everybody else tells her she wants. There's really no understanding of what it is she needs, only what she should be wanting. Remember, young girls at 15, they're going to prom, junior proms, and stuff like that. So they're already getting prepped up to be chosen. So as long as I'm chosen, then I can feel validated. I can feel like I matter now. But the problem, Javon, is what is concerning is these women are pushed and shoved into being chosen, and they're not mentally mature. They don't know what it takes to make decisions. They have been cusped and protected from discipline. Accountability comes from a father, a male, a godfather, an uncle, a great uncle, a grandfather who tells you, sit your ass down. You don't know what you're doing. Mothers will be like, oh, she's the baby. I don't want to. All of that stuff in growing up, it hinders us from understanding the maturity comes from combating up against the sorry thinking that we are deserving of something that we don't understand what it is.
So I'm unmuting my mic now. Having said all that, two things come to mind. Can you see, and I'm being honest, because I felt this way, and it has nothing to do with romance. I've had great relationships with women. Women have always listened to me because of what I said my consequences are. I'm going to get me another woman or I'm going to leave you. So women have always listened to me. But outside of relationships, I felt that Phil just can't fucking stand a goddamn woman. I'm serious. Now, when I say that, meaning when I say outside of relationship, notice how your face just looked, right? Right? And I'm telling the truth. Outside of a relationship, because in a relationship, they treat me like a king. In a relationship, I have no issues. My issues be with my sisters, my aunts, the women that I'm not fucking. Because they're doing this. How I know, notice how you said, oh my God. Carla, think about what you just said. How can anybody stand that? So can you understand a man can live on this life 50 years and say, man, I don't want no damn woman, man. I don't want to go through that. What man wants to rebuild a little girl from 4, 5, 6? Are you really understanding me? So what I'm hearing is, what I just heard is I should just tell men, if she didn't grow up with a mama and a daddy, don't even fucking talk to her. That's what I'm hearing. Otherwise, you're going to have to psychoanalyze and be a father for a little child's ego. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm passionate about it because the things that you're saying is so disheartening, because we have situations where fathers want to see their children. We have situations where grandmothers want to see their grandbabies. We have so many situations where you have someone that you're saying is sitting back making up a fucking story in their head to avoid ever feeling like they're wrong. What are we supposed to do, Carla?
This is why I wrote the book. This is everything you're passionate about. This is why I wrote the book. She's beside herself. You know, back in the days, mothers used to say that little girl is beside herself, and we didn't know what the hell it meant. This is telling a young woman, you have to evolve. You have to look in the freaking mirror and own your shit. You have to stop being in self-denial. You have to self-study. You got to look at you. And then you have to stop being so easily offended by everything your man is telling you you do. First and foremost, you can't correct what you don't acknowledge. I'm going to say that again. You cannot correct what you do not acknowledge. So as long as you've been in your so-called under your I'm so deserving status, as long as you say I'm so deserving of this and I'm deserving of that, as long as you stay in that state of mind and you continue to self-deceive, and you have had lovers tell you, you do X, Y, and Z, and you get offended, and then you say, well, I'll wait, and he'll show up, and Jesus will send him, and God will part the sky, and the man will show up. No, he won't. He will not show up. And see, when we say stuff like this, it's disheartening for the women that love to tell themselves the lies, Javon. How do you think so many women are still in the wait for a man after 50, wanting to squeeze their 50-year-old ass in a wedding dress? Why is that? It is a mindset, Javon, because most women cannot get past resolution. They only want to react. Reaction comes from when you are 9 years of age. When you go through this book, Javon, I'm telling you, I show what age you fall in as you develop in your emotional maturity level. So at 9 years old, you react, you respond quick, without thought, can care less what you say. So this is why men are like, how is she snapping at me? She's being disrespectful, because she knows nothing about hushing, being quiet, assessing, being willing to hear critique without offense. That's unheard of, Javon, because that is not okay in a young, youthful mind.
It's amazing because you see it every day when men deal with women. It's like almost having to apologize to her for letting her know that she fucked up. Honey, you know, when my mother died, I don't feel like you was as supportive as you could have been. And after the conversation is over, I'm sorry for letting you know that you weren't supportive. It's almost like what it's dealing with. And like I said, I try to take it out of relationships because it seems like women only seem to care about fixing themselves as it relates to a relationship. I work in a facility where I see women antagonize kids unknowingly or knowingly. And when you say something to them about it, even as a school teacher, there have been times that I'd be like, yo, it's not about you. It's about these kids. Why do you think I'm attacking you? It's about these kids. Quick example. I worked with a teacher, and this was a white lady, but it's the same thing happened. So I'm using this example. It was Black History Month. And the question, they were going over vocabulary words, and one of the words was conductor. And there was a question that said, what is a conductor on the Underground Railroad? Nobody knew the answer in the context of what it was saying. So this one little girl raised her hand and said, ain't a conductor the person that drive the train? And the white teacher said, yeah, good job, you got it. The conductor is the person that drives the train. Now, I'm just overseeing her class, helping her with behavior. I said, excuse me, Miss Lynch. I said, a conductor is a person that drives the train. But in this case, there wasn't a literal train. So a conductor was someone that helped and assisted along the lines. Oh, thank you for correcting me, Mr. Clark. Thank you. Thank you. White tears that evening. I'm in the office. She's crying, snotting. I undermined her in front of her students. And the principal was a male, had the nerve to call me out and ask me to apologize. I said, man, fuck no. I quit this job and I kick your motherfucking ass for asking me some dumb shit like that. I said, you can clearly see I did nothing wrong. This woman was upset that she was wrong in front of a class. And when I went back in the office, I told her, I said, not only I won't apologize to you, you should apologize to me for teaching Black students. And you've been so blind or not caring during Black History Month that you think the Underground Railroad is a real train. You should apologize to me and those Black students that you're teaching.
See, what I love what you just demonstrated right there. You got your mic muted. There we go. What I love that you shared right there is that accountability piece. So when you corrected, this is why a lot of young women have never really understood discipline, understood correction, understood being accountable. You challenged the teacher. So you're teaching her the proper understanding and expanding her knowledge of even her mindset. You brought her out of what? The line of thought she was in to branch out and have a more broader awareness, a deeper perspective, changes that teacher, because now you can't just look at it from that perspective now. So no matter what, whether she's mad or not, you opened her mindset. This is what accountability is. This is what men do that women take offense to. But this is what's necessary for a woman to become more emotionally mature. We have to have it. There's no rhyme, reason, or anything to not allow for there to be a correction made, for there to be an accountability set up, for there to be an apology said. All of these things are necessary. What you said was powerful, but again, a lot of times women don't want to own, and we talked about this last week, we don't want to own our error in our ways. But how can we do better and create a better resonance, a better relationship, not with everybody else? I'm talking about with yourself. If you can't even be honest with you, how are you going to be honest with a man? How are you going to be so-called faithful to a man if that's what you're into? How are you going to be faithful to your man? How are you going to be a really solid parent to a child if you can't even be honest with you?
Now, this is the question that I have. And as we move forward, like I said, I'm going to start talking about the book. The question that I have is this. Can a woman come to this realization without a fucking man have to be involved? Like, say, for example, this thing that we're talking about, right? Is it possible for a woman to wake up? It's like I damn near already know my answer, because it seemed like I remember we were touring the country. There was this thing called Black Brilliance. We had been on the Huffington Post. We had been on Ebro in the morning, the Breakfast Club, and we were touring the country. And it was called Black Brilliance. It was 9 Black men that from all facets of life, right? And we're brilliant men. The Huffington Post picked it up. It really caught a buzz. It was on Roland Martin and me and one of the brothers, and I was the school teacher of the group. And, for some reason, I can't say I was one of the most popular ones, but that's how it ended up being. Whenever we had to go on tour, I was always one of the ones chosen to go on tour. So sometimes some other brothers would get upset. Well, why is he always there? The women thought I was easy on the eye. And the women felt like I was combative, so they always wanted to kind of dig at me. But I'm not combative. I'm just holding women accountable. And I'll never forget, we were in a tour. We was in D.C., and it was an auditorium. It was almost 400 women. It was like this big town hall. And everybody had these questions and questions and questions and questions for the handsome men of Black Brilliance. And I finally said, ladies, y'all got 9 men up here. You got a teacher. You have some lawyers, some real estate agents, some fun. Why every question is about how to get a man? Y'all ain't asked us nothing about fatherhood, being a good brother, being a friend. Y'all ain't asked us nothing but how you get a man. So I said that to say, can a woman wake up one day and say, you know what? I need to change, without it being some type of, I just got dumped. I want a guy, he didn't like me. Can a woman come to these realizations without a man being involved? And to me, I don't think they can. I think the only time a woman will ever begin to self-assess, she don't give a damn what her kids think or how her kids feel. So I think the only time a woman will begin to even self-assess is if she's in risk of losing a man or just couldn't get a man do you understand the question I'm asking you? Is it possible?
Great question, Devon. Yes, it is possible for a woman to become more motivated to wanting to mature emotionally. And I'm going to tell you when it happens. It happens when she's at wit's end of life. What I mean by that is she's at dire straits. It could be financially burdened. It could be my life is over. I lost everything. It could be a death. It could be something major that comes into her life that she wasn't ready or prepared for. It's not always a man, but what actually can pull some woman into desiring to want to motivate, into emotionally maturing, is normally when she's put up to it by purpose. When a woman is not any longer driven by being chosen and picked by a man, that is when she starts getting more creative and open-minded and wanting to learn about, why am I on the planet? What am I supposed to be doing while I'm here? We're not here forever. So what am I doing? Then that is one major way a woman can create a desire to want to learn how to be more emotionally mature. Then also, some women get into this desire to do that when they are a mother unexpectedly. And then all of a sudden they got this child that's looking up to them for answers, and they don't have none. So now she's like, oh my God, I got to figure this out. Then that's another motivation. So there's other variations besides what I mentioned, but no, it's not always male induced, shall we say? But because women have been taught very young, if you're not chosen, you don't matter, it's hard for a woman not to focus on being in a relationship.
It's funny because the Bible has a scripture. I say it all the time. Now I'm really starting to understand that last word. And people always look at it, the poly. It says in the last days, 7 women will run to one man and say our own food, clothing, and shelter. So they don't need this guy for nothing. Other than it says, May we become your woman to take away our reproach. So bottom line, I don't care how you cut it. A woman with no man feels like a fucking outcast until she do. You ever notice? And when you think about it, the women that don't have men, if they have any goodness about them that you can, they be very altruistic. They be like Mother Teresa. They know their purpose. She working at a shelter. She school teaching. She a nurse. She trying to change the world. It's like that's what make them satisfied when they don't have a man. Otherwise, there's a cycle of craziness happening. And I can look at it and I can say, I'm having a little bit more sympathy, but at the same time, I'm not. Because all I'm hearing is grow the fuck up. That's all I'm hearing. And if you think that you deserve a grown-ass man with provision and protection, that's all I'm hearing, Carla. I'm hearing, listen, I can see how this book really, for real, can revolutionize the world, can revolutionize the way women think. All I'm hearing is you in a neat way telling women, just grow the fuck up. Everything ain't about you. That's all I'm hearing. And it's like you got to have a conference, a book, a fucking moon landing. And I've experienced it with women that I immediately left. And it's a saying that I cut a woman off instantly. Well, I'll never do that again. Well, as soon as they say it, I'm out. What's wrong with you? I'm out. Stop talking to me. You don't get no closure with me. Because I hate that childish, I think that's part of the woman in me. I want you to suffer for saying some shit that fucking stupid. I want you to, when I say suffer, I want you to say, damn, I miss Javon. He told me, don't play that silly little girl shit with him. And I tried it. And he gave me one try. And I've seen women years later and they still be in that mode. And I say, girl, I ain't thought of you in 3 years. And when you saw me, the first thing you say is, why you ain't never read my text? And I said, because I didn't want to give you closure. I wanted to burn your soul. I thought I was helping you to show you. Stop playing with people. Be open and honest about how you feel. That's how you get a situation. And so that's why I say I'm feeling sorry for women, because I know a lot of women are never going to have fruitful relationships with men, their children, nobody, because of what you're explaining to me now is this mental illness level of crazy. It's a level of crazy, it's a mental illness, and it's conditioned in the princess concept, like you said. And I know a lot of women ain't gonna never have fulfilling relationships because of this. So I feel sorry. But then on the flip side, I look up and say, that's why you goddamn 60 years old ain't never had nobody. Cause it's you. And no one should want you. You are peeling back the layers to something that I've been saying for years. A woman, and I don't address white women. You know, I don't address Chinese women. When I'm talking about women, I'm talking about black women. I don't give a fuck about no other race. I'm just being honest. They can fucking do this shit until the day they fucking croak. I don't care about them. But when I say a woman, I'm simply talking about my sisters. And I've said for years, And I don't care what you feel, Carla. This book, until it takes off, women are going to see it as an attack on them. And you know this. So what I'm simply saying is, I've said for years, my sisters are the most loving, caring, sacrificial women on the face of this earth. Her only issue is she never wants to expose how she truly feels. So if my Black woman never wants to expose how she truly feels, then we're building every fucking relationship on a foundational lie.
Here's what I want to, I know you still have to get out of here at exactly 9, right? Am I right? Just shake your head. Yes. Okay. So I know we're pushing it for time, but this is very important for me to get this out. One of the powerful things that I'm concerned about with our women is that there is no real understanding that the emotional maturity can develop, but there's going to be a lot of crying, a lot of developing, a lot of misunderstanding. And first of all, what you said was powerful, but telling someone the truth has to start with you being honest with you first. Our main problem is that we are not truthful to ourselves, Javon. If I can sit here and tell myself a bold-faced lie to self-soothe myself, to make myself feel better, knowing damn well I am 52 years old, as an example, to sit here and tell you I'm going to wait to be chosen, I'm going to squeeze my ass in a wedding dress so that I can feel seen by the planet and not give a damn about purpose makes no sense to me. That's me, though. But there are many women I have counseled, coached, talked to, evolved, and said, are you wanting marriage or not? They look at me with this blank face like, well, I don't know. You don't know because you've been taught and you are in a paradigm in thinking and beliefs. Why are you not questioning what you're thinking in here? What's going on in here? Why are you 50, 60, 70, 80 years old still wanting to wait for a man? Why? Why are you on the planet? What are you doing? We are Black women. Our life expectancy is 71.1 years of age. I got more summers behind me than in front of me if I don't take care of my health, if I'm not being honest. I can self-soothe all day and tell you, oh, Javon, Felicia Rashad's mom, she lived to be 100, so I'll be that too. I can self-soothe, sure, and not prepare for death, sure. But what good am I to my family that I leave and they're all in a shambles because there's no life insurance. There's nothing here there's no will. Now they got to scramble and figure shit out. And I'm not being honest with me. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. But when she's beside herself, she can't look inside of herself and be honest about what the hell it is. This is why we get in these relationships and we get to getting more like a police officer with our man. Where are you at? Who you with? Who's that? What's this woman? Who's this? Why are you talking to her? What's this? All of that is insecurity, Javon. Women on purpose don't give a damn about who our man's talking to. If anything, we're going to encourage him to talk. Help that woman, babe. Like, look at her. She's struggling. Get the door for her. Help her. Real women care about other people. We're not stuck on little stupid shit about cheating and all that. We are more evolved because we're emotionally mature. We care less about stupid stuff like, oh my God, he's going to be talking to other women. Is he trying, or do you want to have a man that's in his highest purpose? That's handsome, that's got something to offer the planet? Then how dare you, as a woman that's supposedly wanting to be in love with him, but you want to hold him back from his flair, from his debonair, from his sexy? For what? That's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. You're holding that man down from his evolving into his highest self. But this is why men and women can't combine. This is why there's so much back and forth. This is why so much is going on. But that's why I wrote the book. Most women aren't understanding or comprehending my emotional maturity isn't where it needs to be. You can take the test and find out where you're at. It's Soul Freeze test. Check it out. See where you're at. Where are you at? What is your age for real? Not your chronological age where you blow out candles every year and look at me, I'm a year older. That doesn't mean shit. What you need to be saying is, where am I emotionally? Because your man deals with that version of you that you want so bad.
It's amazing because I don't know. I get emotional thinking about it, having these epiphanies, and like I just feel like crying, yo. And I've said it for years, and women thinking I'm attacking them. I've said it for years. I feel so sorry for y'all. Walk around calculating and lying, misrepresenting yourself. What kind of fucking life is that? Scared to be wrong. I just feel so sorry. As a man, I love being a man, so free. Now I don't like that. And if you don't like that, motherfucker, we can fight. But guess what? When I leave, I'm going to have a clear head about this shit. I'm not going to leave the scene thinking and making up fucking stories for my own brain. So it's a situation where, you know, as we get out of here, I'm so excited for the book situation because, you know, you're being nice. If I would have named this book, I'd have said she crazy than a motherfucker. That's what I would have named the book, because that's really what you're saying. She's beside herself. She's crazy than a goddamn bed bug and a fucking road lizard fucking in a shoe in the dollar store. That's how fucking crazy she is. But I got hope because now I see that it can be explained. And I've been explaining it for years. But coming from a man is too harsh. Coming from a man, they don't think I empathize. Coming from a man, they don't think I get it. But coming from a woman with an education and explaining it, you know, I think it's gonna be a beautiful thing. You, whether you know it or not, you know who Shahrazad Ali is. You're like the second coming of her with this book. But women gonna motherfucking hate your black ass. I'm putting a prophecy on your life. I can see it. This is how great this book can be. And I know you ain't sit down and write the motherfucker thinking it's gonna be hidden in obscurity somewhere. So you believe in it too. And you know what it can do. You are really, really, really gonna change the world with this book. But in the beginning, here she go, a pick me, attacking black women. Go ahead, wrap us up wrap us up, Miss Carla.
I appreciate the prophecy. Listen, I take it to heart for real because I really know that it's not easy to make women accountable, but I do want to bring women to a higher awareness. So that's the main thing. Is this is going to butt hurt first. It's not going to feel good. Women are going to deny it. Women are going to throw it away, and I don't like it. And what does she say? But once she figures out, well, you know what? There is some truth to this, and starts telling herself the truth, that's when the evolution happens. Because even with me, I had to go through this personally. I had to personally grow and evolve, even though I had a very involved father. There was many things that I didn't get until I went through some real structural changes, even in how I loved not just the men I was involved with, but loving me. I had to get real raw with self. Why are you so easily butthurt every time a man tells you something? He's critiquing you. He's telling you something for the betterment of you. Why do you take everything so damn personal? Well, because I want to be right or whatever the hell. Then I had to slow that up and be like, oh, so let me be more aware. Let me be more welcoming of critique. Be honest with me. I want you to tell me the truth. What do you think? What do you really feel? What am I doing in this relationship that's causing you despair? Let me know and I'll work on it. Now it changes and shifts the woman from anger, because all that pick me stuff and anytime a woman is trying to incentivize women being more accountable, we're not liked at first. We're not. However, we're sought after in the long run, because I can sit here and tell you the lies you've been telling yourself, and you can go down in history as not being anything. That's up to you. But for me, I'm going to make you more aware, whether you use the awareness or not. Once you know it, it's not, you can't unlearn it. It's something about you that's like, you know what? I'm age 9. How do I get to 10? It's not to be judgmental of you. It's to get down to the raw truth of where you are emotionally in your mature level. Where are you? How can you fix and evolve or change if you don't know where you're started at? Get the book. She's Beside Herself. If you don't want to read it, get the audio book. It's $10 off. Go over to Patreon and get the book. And thank you to those that already bought the book and going through it and crying tears and calling me. I'm getting a lot of calls because y'all are really like, I didn't know. Oh, it's okay. Growth isn't pretty, but goddamn it, once you get to that level of evolution and in your pretty of that, listen, you're unstoppable. Men are going to come in droves then, but y'all don't want to do the work. That's what the problem is.
I appreciate you, Miss Carla. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Y'all tune in to Trav tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.
Good night, guys.